We have a lot of unnecessary pages in here. Someday we'll figure that out. On the medical market, only thing really big takeaway for you guys on this, the majority of carriers would not offer us a quote. Some of those wouldn't offer a quote just because of either participation size or industry. There's a lot of insurance carriers that don't like municipalities, for example. So it does reduce down the carriers that we could look at. The most disappointing part of the quoting is that United Healthcare, who in the past has many times offered competitive rates, was completely unresponsive after 4 weeks. We're not sure what's going on with them. You're not unique for that. That's across the board. That said, the next page is a highlight of claims data. I do have claims packets here. In the past, we've gone over these. I thought maybe if we just looked at some of the highlights, we could hit that and kind of move on. Biggest thing for you to know, Randy, Linda, having seen this in the past, we had 2 years ago a lot of claims hit. It was catastrophic. Haven't had that many claims hit at one time. As far as the data that we could see, last year claims were fantastic. They were way down. This year it kind of came somewhere more in the middle, between the really bad and the really good, which was one of the reasons that Anthem cited of not reducing your rate more, is they had an anticipation of higher claims this year, and they were right. But if you would go ahead and move to that very next page, and if we can look back at the summary page a little bit more, but getting to it, the renewal that they sent us was about a 12% from Anthem. We have been able to get them negotiated down to a 3%. So the 3% is what your renewal is for this year. Cigna, which is one of the only carriers that we managed to get to actually give us a competitive quote, they are coming in 3.5% under current. So about a 6.5% swing if you were to move to Cigna. We did use the Cigna quote to get Anthem to come down to that 3. We don't believe Anthem will move any further down. So we do believe this is their final best offer that we're going to be able to get from them. And since we don't have another carrier offering anything competitive, we don't believe that we'll be able to move Cigna down any further. But the positive, even though we didn't have as many carriers as what we normally should offering quotes, we do have your renewal down to well under what kind of a normal market renewal is, which is about an 8% right now. And we do have a more competitive offer. Some things to note, some concerns we have as far as Cigna goes. Cigna is a very large carrier, very large network. It's nationwide. We do not see any reason for anybody that is currently on the plan, using the plan the way that we are aware of, having any kind of disruption from network. Everything appears to be the same. The concern that we have is the HRA. In the past, we've used other companies to facilitate your HRA, and that has not gone well. Anthem, whenever they took it over, it was only about a year of basically getting that on track. And this past year, we haven't had issues regarding the HRA. I always have concerns switching, because anytime you make a switch, there's always risk involved of, something that's working, now all of a sudden it stops. Now, that said, we believe, just like we've delivered to you in the past, we should be able to move to Cigna, utilize Cigna to administer the HRA and have no problems. But, every carrier tells you that their HRA is flawless, and that their administration will work exactly the way it's supposed to. And oftentimes that won't be the case. those are the highlights on the medical. Big cost drivers as far as this last year. You have a small number of people that are high cost claimants. You have a very high percentage wise of individuals that are diagnosed with diabetes in particular. We do think that a certain number of those are, I don't want to say inaccurate, but there's a certain number that possibly pursued the diagnosis of being diabetic so that they could get on GLP-1s, Ozempic, Mounjaro, medications like that. As a organization, you do have a larger number of individuals with those conditions than others. One argument that I would give you to actually stay with Anthem, other than administration, cost-wise, it's a pretty easy thing for me. It would be better to switch from cost standpoint. Administration standpoint, Anthem's done really well for 2 years. Tough to switch to something and have unknowns. That said, Anthem also, there are some, we do have some ways that we could try to help manage some of the chronic conditions. We met middle of the year to kind of talk about some of those things that can be done. Teladoc is a company that also offers chronic condition management. So you have some individuals that have chronic conditions. Those chronic conditions represent, percentage-wise, Stephanie, what was it? I think we have that actually listed here. Those chronic conditions represent 400,000 of your 650,000 total spend, and it's a very small number of individuals. There is a program that we could attempt. Obviously, there's no magic wand that could fix anything, but there's a program. It costs $75 per participant per month that would actually make the attempt to help manage the chronic condition.
Is that our total census, or only those that are in the chronic category? Is that $75 per
participant? Only those that actually participated. So let's say you have, let's say you had 10 people that could participate. Okay. If only 2 do, you'd only pay for the 2 that did. Yeah. This is because they're chronic conditions. The chronic conditions, you either change the way they're being maintained, or they last forever. These aren't singular events. As somebody that has some kind of an accident, has an injury, that's a one-time event. It's not a chronic condition. It happens. They get treated for it. We move on, and it doesn't impact your future claims in the same way. Somebody that has, a cancer would be a great example of a chronic condition. Somebody with cancer, again, we're assuming that they're getting the best treatment they can. There's not a lot you can do about that as far as management. Now, somebody with a type 2 diabetes, that's something that certain lifestyle changes can actually help. And yes, the medication does wonders for that. You can also make lifestyle changes and actually replace the need of the medication. Those are things that can influence the bottom line. There are some conditions that you can do that with. There's others that you can't. Stage 4 cancer, you've got stage 4 cancer. Your oncologist obviously is doing their best to help you with that. There's not good lifestyle changes that boom, suddenly you don't have stage 4 cancer anymore. So this would be something that would be an option to try to address the, again, that represents more than half of your claims from a very small segment. Some of those, there's nothing we can do about that. Others, there is potentially things that can be done. More of a putting that out there for information. This is something that can be explored throughout the year. Doesn't even have to be done now, but I do, anytime we can do something about a chronic condition, that helps tremendously, so it could help influence next year's rate. This last 2 years, we've done wellness events, which is something that insurance carriers just like to see that. It's like, hey, you're doing something. And so those have been successful. in the sense of, the carriers are seeing that, they appreciate the fact that they're being done. That did actually come up during our negotiations. So that is something that we think that we should probably still try to do this next year. But this would be kind of another step that we could take. It would only impact claims in a positive way if people participated. So if you do it and nobody participates, then we can say we tried, but it won't. I wouldn't foresee that helping rates, obviously.
And this may be an awkward question that you've already answered, but on the side of the premium, not having an impact on that, but looking at the individual, does it expose them any further than what they are with the conditions that are recognized by an insurance carrier or company, if that makes sense? So let's say I already have diabetes, but then I enroll in this program. Does that identify me then as some higher risk that might impact future? And I know what you just said, it wouldn't, but I'm just curious with medical history and how all that is tracked in today's world. Does that
would it now red flag you?
Exactly.
Yes. So before you were diabetic, but nobody knew, but now you're diabetic.
Exactly.
This would should not have any impact on that, because the only people that should participate would be those that are already known to have the condition. So the insurance carrier would already be in their medical history. Okay. In fact, kind of the way that you're able to participate in the program is you have to have the chronic condition before you can participate.
Okay. Like I said, maybe it's an awkward question, but I
shouldn't have any negative impact at all. The only negative side of this is a potential $75 cost for a participant who signs up to participate and doesn't participate. Counter argument I would have to that would be, it does look good that as an organization you're offering that, because that, again, as an underwriters like seeing that something is, there's some kind of an action trying to be taken, even if it's not successful.
So have you seen this work before?
We have seen. So I can't honestly, I can't really say yes, because you never know. We've had employers that have done extremely similar. Anthem has a program which we talked about. This is actually through Teladoc, so it would not be through the Anthem program.
So let me tell you where I was heading with that.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe it'll make it easier. How much ability for change does this impact? I mean, I know what you're saying, I hear what you're saying, but in history, how much has it impacted? Does it change their medicine? Does it change their lifestyle? Where's the impact?
So some of this is a road not traveled, so you'll never know what would have been. If somebody participates and let's say they were diabetic and now they're no longer diabetic, we know that impacts it positively. How much? Unless they were still diabetic, unless we could run those rates at the same time, we wouldn't know. But we do have employers that have, again, same basic program structure, that have a more flat renewal than employers that do not participate in it. And that's the best I could actually give on that. Employers that have a lot of smoking cessation is actually the easiest one to point out. Employers that have large numbers of employees participate in smoking cessation programs tend to see their rates flatten, as opposed to those that don't have the participation or don't offer it at all. So would it have a positive impact? It should, as long as you had people participate. The amount, it would depend on the individual. So Stephanie and I could both, have hypertension, right? Which is one of the things that they manage. We both equally participate, right? Maybe I have a couple of additional underlying conditions though that made that hypertension a much bigger deal. So it was a much larger risk than what she had. So my participation would outweigh hers and make hers fairly insignificant if that was the only condition she had. So there's a lot of variables that kind of go into that make it disingenuous to try to give you a firm yes or no. And as far as the amount of participation that would be required to move the needle, a single individual participating should, but maybe it would only save, it might even save less than the $75 cost for that person. It would all depend on the individual. And I should also point out that historically speaking, the more chronic conditions somebody has, the less likely they typically are to participate in a lot of programs. A lot of our highest level of participation are actually those that are more of a borderline, and this is more of a holistic wellness programs. Those that are borderline tend to participate more than those that are, deeply seated in it. Sure. It's easier to approach somebody that needs to lose 5 pounds and get them motivated to do it than somebody that didn't. Which I think that's human nature. Sure. But I don't know if that perfectly answered. Okay. But so that is the medical side of things. If you would, if you were to stay with Anthem on the medical, it would be fairly important to stay with Anthem also on the dental. Your ancillary lines like the dental, those rates give you a discount on your health. So moving this would negatively impact the health by a significant enough of amount that it probably would be unwise to do it. If you were to move over to Cigna, you can stay with Anthem. You do not have to move. We do have a more competitive rates coming in with an insurance carrier, Pacific Life, is giving better rates, matching plans and services, but giving better rates than what Anthem is. So if you were to move the medical, a lot of times we prefer to only move one thing at a time, but you definitely could and have savings in your other lines as well.
So I understand that. And again, this may be an awkward question, but if I don't ask, I won't know, right? So staying with Anthem with the dental and vision or whatever, we don't have the same level of participation there as we do with the medical, right? Because we're providing the medical for our coworkers, and then it's an option that they take themselves on the dental and vision, right? We're not contributing anything to that. So then my question becomes, those who want to stay with Anthem for dental and vision, would it satisfy Anthem that number is whatever that number is? But over here, if we have a quote from Pacific, is there a conflict from your standpoint, or even can you offer us both?
You're saying
Stephanie's saying no.
Both carriers at the same time, both Pacific and Anthem being offered to employees.
Does she need to leave the room?
So contractually, you wouldn't be able to offer both.
That was my question.
Yeah. So you have to. You can only have one or the other based.
I want both of them.
I know. I totally understand. There are some legal ways you can have more than one offered.
Okay.
But it would. We would have to get it requoted, and those rates won't be as good as they are now.
All right. Not what I wanted to hear, but it's what I expected to hear.
And so with that, what questions do you have regarding the medical plan as far as Anthem and Cigna? What questions do you have regarding that, or logistics of any of that, or the ancillary? The main gist that we have is first decision you'd probably need to make is whether you would want to move to Cigna or not. And that would be predominantly a cost-driven decision. Administration-wise, I don't think we can do better than what Anthem has currently done. You can obviously do worse. So administration would be the reason to stay with Anthem, ease of not making a change. If you decided to move to Cigna, then the second question would be ancillary, is there something that would you like to make a change?
So that would be a good segue to let all the voices in the room be heard. And one of the voices I would like to hear from is sitting in the balcony, and that is Robin. And since she has to a great extent, carries the administrative load internally, I would like to hear her thoughts before we entertain your question, because I think things went relatively smooth. So, Robin, would you want to speak to that?
They have gone really well, especially this last year. Once we got used to the one card, the HRA with Anthem, it's gone really well. My concern is, does Cigna have the same networks and hospitals and doctors as Anthem does? That's my biggest concern, I would say. So we're talking Lake Regional, Mercy, Cox, Barnes. I think there's some others in St. Louis, all of those.
And we can get you a full list, but yes, the networks are different whenever you were to leave the state. All of the current providers in use that we were able to find that anybody in the county has used in the last 3 years are all in the Cigna network.
Okay, so what's different when you travel out of state?
So if you get into a more rural area, you could run into, and that's true with any insurance carrier. So Blue Cross Blue Shield may be, contracted with Hospital East, and Cigna's contracted with Hospital West. ER visits are always going to be a network. We don't see, from a network standpoint, if you had to pick which one is better, I believe that you would say that the Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield network is better from a national standpoint. I don't believe you have a single employee that would ever learn that though, or be affected by it, because Cigna is a national network. Locally, they have Lake Regional, CMH, they have Cox, they have Mercy. They're in Barnes, so there isn't anybody currently utilizing the Anthem plan, or even again, like the last 3 years, we couldn't find a provider that wasn't in network, so we shouldn't have any kind of issue.
So what's Cigna's admin and HRA? How does that compare to Anthem?
We have less experience with Cigna on the HRA than we do Anthem. Again, it should be identical, but having not implemented it with you, every single implementation can go a little bit different. Having not implemented it with you, I don't want to say that it is, but there would be no reason why they would not be able to administer it in the exact same way that Anthem is doing it.
So they have an HRA in place too, then? That's what I thought you said.
I'm sorry, Robin.
One more
Go ahead.
question.
Yeah.
So if we changed to Cigna and we kept Anthem's dental and vision, how is that gonna, does that change anything with Anthem?
It doesn't. Those are two separate silos. So if you wanted to keep that for just the sake of having no change in that area, you can definitely do that.
So then that would open the door to go to Pacific then.
Yes, if you.
I thought that's what you were saying, no, too.
No.
You can't offer both Anthem Dental and Pacific Life Dental.
Oh,
You can't offer two dental.
Stephanie, you can come back in the room.
Again, if we're just talking options, you absolutely could maintain the Anthem medical and change to the Pacific Dental, but it will impact your medical rate.
The rates, but
it wouldn't be if you stay with Anthem, it's best to leave those.
So your percentage, and I don't know if this has any relevance, but the percentage of clients that you write Anthem versus Cigna?
Significantly higher with Anthem.
Okay.
And by significant, it's we have very, very few Cigna clients. We are much more comfortable with Anthem. If you do experience an issue, our contacts at Anthem are much better than what they are at Cigna.
Robin?
Sorry, I do have another question.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't we last year when we
or the year before, whenever it was, didn't we get additional discount on the medical or the dental and vision because we grouped those?
Yes.
So would we lose that?
You would lose that if you were to
Okay.
leave if you left the Anthem medical, you would lose, or excuse me, dental and vision, you would lose the discount you have on medical. And it's around a 3% increase. So you would go from a 3% renewal to a 6%. So if you were going to keep the Anthem medical, it would be best to make sure to keep the dental and vision also. Because that extra 3%'s not worth the savings of moving to Pacific Life. Yeah.
So if the renewal were Anthem then, and the plan were the same, has the plan itself changed content?
No, there isn't any material
Percentage
changes.
changes or coverage changes?
No coverage changes. The formulary will have minor updates, no effect on any current
You know,
employee.
like outpatient becomes $10 more?
No.
Okay.
It looks like they were the same.
Yeah.
But,
And there's a-
So we've had that before, and then content changed behind it.
oh, okay.
No, it was a plan match renewal, so no change.
So with that then, James, was there other plans within Anthem that you could present that might have any merit?
Yes, we could pull other plans if you wanted to, say, increase copays or increase deductible, things of that nature to bring the cost of the plan down. There would be things that we could do along those lines if you wanted us to prepare them for you. That would obviously change things for the employee. Do you have something in mind?
No, just trying to use this opportunity time-wise to at least ask questions, understand what options might be available. If I don't ask, I don't know. So that's the reason why I'm asking.
Uniquely, you have a custom-built plan with Anthem and a custom-built plan with Cigna. They did not provide additional plan alternatives because these were custom-made. If you would like, we can get you additional numbers for an alternative plan. I would just need to know,
Let me ask you this before I would, and I don't know what Joe and Erik would want to do. I'm not sure I want to do that,
Okay.
but again, I'm asking questions. So if we were to consider some type of copay, then would there be any possibility to reduce the office visits?
Yes, you should be able to. Do we have any reason to think that would mess up the renewal percentage?
It's hard to say. Any kind of change like that can change the rate.
Right, it would change
So
the rate,
3%, no.
but it wouldn't have. We would still be able to maintain this plan at 3%. I don't believe.
And the reason why I asked that, if you had a copay, which would be not received very well, probably, right? Okay, because we have offered a very generous plan now at the county for a number of years, and to bring that back. But if there was an offset, here is a $20 a month copay, but your doctor's visits drop. Is there, if that makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So in my case, if I see a specialist, I have, I'm going to be out $80 a couple times a year. Okay, so that's $160. And I might go to the doctor maybe once a year. Who knows? I'm blessed. But if I had to pay the $20 a month copay, if that's what it was, that's $240 a year. So you can kind of see how I'm
A
running the
tier
math.
is what you're saying, for an enhanced plan.
Well, I'm not sure what to call it, but
Before we called it a buy-up or a tier.
Right. So you're saying maintain the same 3%. Hey, we want to maintain this negotiated renewal potentially, but then also add an additional plan that would have enhanced benefits and that an employee could choose to go to. and just pay the difference of the cost?
No, I'm not talking about a buy-up, because I don't know that there's anything else that I would buy up to personally.
Okay.
Okay, but what I'm saying is if we had a quote on a different plan that
Right.
was maybe even less than that 3% increase, maybe it's neutral premium to last year.
Okay.
Okay, and if that's possible, or it's the same, but the individual user.
Could buy up to this plan.
Or you're saying, so can we?
I think it's the opposite, right, Linda?
Can we alter
The base level.
the base and add a plan that has?
But I don't know why
This
we
would
would
be
do
fine.
that, because we have to offer everybody, or could that be an individual choice?
Be an individual choice.
Okay.
So you can offer more than one plan, and you can have
Sorry.
Administrative thing.
Robin,
you
Hey.
can
Sorry, I'm sorry.
and you can offer more than one plan and have a premium associated with a plan that maybe here's a and what you're actually saying is not even a buy down, buy up. The county's going to cover the cost of both plans, but we incentivize people to come over here because there's a lower copay, but maybe it's a less expensive plan to the county.
no, I'm not sure I'm making my thoughts clear.
Yeah,
What
I
I'm
don't-
hearing you say is if you offered a lesser base plan and then you could buy up into this one.
That'd be the best way to say it, Linda.
Okay.
So what would be the incentive for somebody to do the other plan? Just
Well,
greater
if it
deductible.
reduced their out-of-pocket going to a doctor or specialist.
If you only go once a year, then what do you care?
Yeah, but if you had, because this is one thing that I've heard is, and it's probably not widespread. Well, we've got a $40 copay. What if that were $20? Not copay, office visit.
and that is a copay.
So if
Mhm.
that is the
That's what
that is
you're
the-
saying.
okay,
by definition.
So-
Yeah.
okay.
So you're looking for a way, hey, how can we reduce the copay without increasing the cost to the county?
I think what he's really looking for is can we lessen the 3%?
Or reduce the premium if they pass the copay on to the county employee. Is that what I hear you saying?
So typically with Anthem plans, we can go in and alter the copay amounts, and that's how you can drop that plan down to like a 0% or something like that. So we could increase like pharmacy copays or office visit copays or things like that.
But then
But
that
it would
likely
increase your
my
rate.
premium.
Yes, because it's a
If
better
you
plan.
lowered the copays, yes. If you raised the copays, then no, it would lower.
Because he's saying that there's been some people that have complained
About the
$40 as opposed to
And I don't know
20.
how many
Sure.
it is,
Yeah.
but one of the things that you pointed out before is that someday we may get to, or we may not, is we offer a rich plan,
Very rich. Yes.
and the usage might indicate that to some extent. So I'm just thinking out loud, whether it's logical or not. I'm just thinking out loud to see if there's a path where we start taking steps in that direction somehow. But maybe for the sake of this discussion this year, that's not important.
We definitely, you could go and just alter like your HRA contribution. Maybe instead of immediately paying, you have every employee needs to pay the first $500 that would normally be covered by the HRA. There's little things that you can do like that can have an impact. As far as reducing the copay, if we reduce the copay, it will in turn increase the premium, probably negligibly, quite honestly, depending on how far we do it. It would not have a significant change, though, to move that from a $40 office visit down to a $20, but it would increase the overall cost. In order to offset that, we would have to, where we gave one in one area, we'd have to take from another. So maybe take that deductible from that 5 and increase it to 6, which at that point, you're then going to have, the county is now responsible for, if you chose to do it. Obviously, you don't have to, but you'd have to take on an extra $1,000 deductible risk per employee to maintain the same similar benefits. But those are things that absolutely, this is the time definitely to do it. And the only reason I could give you to not explore any option of that nature, I believe Cigna and Anthem are locked in on these rates, and even if we tweak the plan, we should be able to fall back on this. So whatever manipulation we do over here, we should be able to come back. So we should be looking at your worst case scenario is a 3% or a -3.5%, even with plan changes. Timing of the timing of enrollment would be my argument against doing it. We normally would always want to try to start open enrollment as soon as possible and have it done before December 1st. That's not always realistic, and you can't always do it, but that's always the hope that we have. But we do not have to have everything submitted to a carrier until the 31st of December. Not ideal, as both of you know, but that is, the reality is we can continue to look at that through the month of November.
So anecdotally, I ran across something this morning, and I want your thoughts on that, and then I'll speak up with a recommendation, not to cut off discussion or debate, and chances are we'll bring it back up, but I will step forward and make a recommendation. But I ran across an article this morning. The Ozempic effect is finally showing up in obesity data. Okay, so where the cost of Ozempic is factoring into a premium. Is that a true statement?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All GLP-1s, but yes, Ozempic.
Well, and I guess because that's what I hear the most ads for. That's why. Okay. Not okay. So then when I read this article, then it's bending that curve down. So some of those chronic diseases now should be more manageable, which therefore should reduce my premium. Is that correct?
It is. We have not witnessed that.
You want me to send this article to you?
You absolutely can.
Looking forward to it.
Well, no, but if this is a leading indicator, then at some point I would think that it does start to factor into premiums.
So
right?
the to give the whole story on that, it already is factored into premium.
Okay.
Because the cost of those medications is so high. And not only is the cost high, they do have side effects associated with them. And now there are individuals that take those, and yes, they go from a negative to a positive. Absolutely. You also have individuals taking those that were a neutral that now become a negative.
Well, there's even been, I'm just trying to associate the cost of premium to remain on subject matter. But there are even people taking those that maybe don't have weight health related issues, that there's some evidence starting to suggest that has some positive outcomes as well. And I can't articulate all those. I read a lot, or skim a lot anyway.
I actually was curious about it. I went through the process myself to see how difficult is it to get a subscription or prescription for a GLP-1. Was easily able to qualify, even though I have no.
Because you didn't play soccer.
That's right. It's baseball, it gets you. But I don't have any indicators at all of being diabetic. But I was able to get a pre-diabetic condition where they said, "Hey, you're close enough," and so now you can get on a GLP-1, which, if I was to do that, would then negatively impact the rates that I have in my organization by myself. And so you have a large number of individuals that would not have participated in a medication that now are, because it's a magic weight loss drug. So overall, it has actually bent it's bent the cost up significantly. So if it does bend it back down, did it bend it back down as far as it bent it up?
No, and it never will, but
Right.
there's some expectation that if any data that's being collected and analyzed is accurate, then it should.
I think eventually, I think, the first generation of the GLP-1s won't have as many negative repercussions as the third. So by the time you get to your third set of these meds coming out, they might have almost no negative implication on somebody. But, it's same idea with anything. The first plane that we flew didn't go as far as what they can go now. So give it a little bit of time. But not, I would be very surprised if in the next 5 years, just comment on that, if it actually had as much of a positive effect as it does a negative effect on rate.
If you remember right, that I was thinking this could actually end up being, with all the possible side effects, this could even go the opposite direction I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
And then it drives up premiums even more. So I think the jury's out, but it's just interesting to
I think
to think about what it could be, but that has no relevance to this discussion at this point.
So one more question. Is 7,900 still the maximum out-of-pocket limit that we can go?
We can increase
Because last year I think it was the maximum.
9,100 is what we can increase the out-of-pocket maximum to.
Doesn't mean Anthem will let us increase it that high, but that is the ACA. Anthem can sometimes come in and say, we don't do an out-of-pocket over this, so.
No idea what they might say.
We asked that.
They maxed it at 79, before.
Yeah, they'll usually increase it a little bit with each year because they keep raising the out-of-pocket max. I'm not sure what their maximum is right now.
So it actually is 2026 is going up to 10,600.
I have to ask them what they
What
let
their
us
approval.
go.
And sometimes they don't.
They may not go that full amount.
Some of that has to do with what they filed with the state, as far as. But it does not hurt to ask. We can definitely do that. And your kind of thought there is if we increase that maximum out of pocket, it then shifts and maybe we do get a little bit of a reduced. Would you want me to ask that and about reducing the copay at the same time to see if they offset each other?
Between the two.
I'd like to do them separately.
The fastest, easiest way with your particular plan to reduce the current rate would be increasing the co-insurance from that 10 to a 20% or 30 or whatever. But usually, I think that a 10% increase. What that would mean is once an individual hit that 5,000,
How fast do you have to move
paying that much more.
yes,
They're up 3.
that would have more
3, 6,
impact than
5.
increasing the out-of-pocket itself. Not that the increasing out-of-pocket wouldn't have an impact. That would have more impact.
That
And that
versus
particular rate would not affect the county's liability as far as with the HRA. So, but that is something that we can look at. And naturally, if we do that with one, would you want us to do it with both Cigna and Anthem?
How long will it take?
Ooh. That's I will not answer that question. I'll let Stephanie be
To
wrong.
find out what their maximum is, how long would that?
I just sent a text for Anthem, so
Okay.
Cigna would probably take a little bit longer to find out what they would do on that.
I don't know. You grab my phone all the time. I don't know.
It can take a little while. It just
it can take days to a week. I mean, I don't know.
yeah, and not so much that it takes that long to look it up, but they have a lot of questions coming through it right now. Like we said, 4 weeks. United Healthcare didn't even deliver us a quote in 4 weeks, which typically they're a 5-day turnaround.
Any questions? Now is a maybe not our only opportunity, but it's probably the best opportunity we
Well,
have.
I'm gonna ask it. There's a $61,464 per year difference between Cigna and Anthem.
Okay.
Is that a correct statement?
Current
Or
rate?
close to it?
Current rate or renewal rate?
Renewal rates. Well,
Of the
yes.
up three, yeah.
Between the negotiated rate and the reduced, I can, I'll need to actually run the number. I assume you did it already.
Well, I'm just making sure that I'm thinking correctly.
What'd you
That
use as
seemed
your
pretty
employee,
steep.
101?
I'm using the,
What'd you use? Did
oh,
you use
I'm
101?
just,
did you do the total
I
monthly
just
rate?
did total for
Okay.
the year.
So I came up with 61,471.56
Okay.
Only caveats you'd have with that is you do have 2 individuals that have a spouse and 2 individuals that have children on the plan, and so the county wouldn't pay the spouse and children rate, but it would. I mean, you're still going to be very close
About
to
60,000.
60,000.
Yeah.
So in general, yes, it would be a $60,000 savings to move to Cigna. Yes, as the plans are currently, apples to apples.
And if I hear you correctly, you are very hesitant about us saving 61,000 somewhat dollars.
I'm not hesitant necessarily.
Apprehensive.
I don't.
Unknowns.
I don't like. I don't like unknowns,
Yes.
and so I don't know that the administration will be as good. So therefore, I don't want to say it will be, and then it's not. So I would rather, look at you and say, "Hey, there's savings." I know that, and I know that if we make, and I know if you stay with Anthem, as long as nothing changes, their administration's been great. Those are the only 2 knowns that I have. So Cigna could botch the implementation, which could take us 12 months to fix. I mean, that absolutely happens, and has happened with the county before, actually. So I am very comfortable with saying that I don't believe it will. I think that if you were to switch to Cigna, everything would go fine.
So have you not had, it sounds to me like you haven't really had an experience with Cigna.
I've had more negative experiences with Anthem than I have any other carrier, but it's also because I've used Anthem the most. Using the analogy of eating in a restaurant, no 2 dishes that you get from the same restaurant are the same. Sometimes you go to the same place or the same thing and it just doesn't come out the same. I've had more issues with Anthem's HRA than any other carrier's HRA before.
But you've got more exposure.
But I've had a lot more exposure. Cigna, we just haven't used them, especially not in the HRA very often. In fact, I don't have another employer currently using them with the HRA. But that said, they're, one of the largest Fortune 500 companies in the world for a reason, there should not be a reason that it would not go extremely well. Reality is, if I had 10 employers that were all the exact same and I sent them through to Cigna today, the exact same time, everything else the same, one of them's
Somebody's gonna have a bad experience.
Yeah, and so I don't like personally making guarantees that I can't guarantee. That's all it is. Specifically, Cigna's a great carrier. We do not have the same level of contacts there. So if something does go wrong, I'll have a much more difficult time getting a fix than I would at Anthem.
Could I have an example on, maybe from you and Robin, on what can go wrong that needs to be fixed?
So it could be, it could be everything from cards not reading. First thing that could happen is the wrong people get added or incorrectly added. Cards not get added at all. Cards don't work, so whenever people go, it goes to Cigna. the person's not covered. And and that's true across the board. It could be that they approve things that they're not supposed to approve. It could be that they don't approve things that they should approve. The number of things that can go wrong is, the infinite. If nobody uses the plan, you'll never know if it went the way it was supposed to or not. If everybody uses the plan heavily, then only one seemingly small detail that got missed suddenly becomes a whirlwind firestorm. So, does that make sense?
It does, yeah. You currently don't have anybody that you take care of in the Cigna network, is
that uses the Cigna HRA?
Okay.
Employers that uses the.
Yes, right.
Would you have somebody, or do you know of somebody that you could
Ask. Yeah, absolutely.
or that you could reach out to, or that Linda or Robin could reach out to?
And so
just asks.
Yeah. And easiest thing we can do is ask Cigna to give a referral on that, which they will probably pick
Well, they're going to pick their best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's just like with Anthem. I could easily have somebody reach out to you, and you'd say Anthem's been perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a number of employers that would tell you Anthem's the worst carrier in the entire world, and their administration's awful, and everything else. So any kind of referral like that
That's
will
kind
be
of like me and
subjective.
the commissioner's job.
So we absolutely could. I just want you to again make sure you know that's always going to be subjective.
Absolutely, because no two people are going to have the same experience. No two people are the same. You've got all of that. I may have called out. He may have called out to him. I may call out to him, and I may have a different attitude in the way I'm asking a question.
And it
And that's
changes
gonna refer
how
that-
you got it. Yep.
Exactly.
No, that,
So we talked about the HRA and Cigna. You guys haven't used Cigna HRA, but I don't think we touched on. We've had different types of HRAs. So how does Cigna handle their HRA?
they're supposed to do it the exact same way
As
that Anthem.
Anthem
We
does.
tried to match that up when talking to them.
But it's an unknown.
Well, again, just that's we do it the exact same way. Everything's
But it might
easy.
not be.
Blah blah
We
blah.
might have a mess like we did before.
Right. Which
And that's a big thing.
if you remembered, before you did Anthem, I wanted you to do Ameriflex
Yeah, we
because
did.
I had so few issues with Ameriflex.
Yeah, it was
And
terrible.
Anthem was somebody I did not want you to use because I had never had a good experience with their HRA administration. You're actually the second good experience I've had with Anthem's HRA. But it's been fantastic
Right, but
to the
Ameriflex
point.
is a nightmare.
To the point I could use
Yeah.
you to prove
Mhm.
that Anthem does a great job and Ameriflex does a terrible job. Where for 10 years leading up to that, Ameriflex, I had 2 issues that got fixed within a week until you guys got them.
It makes a big
Robin.
difference on the HRA, just so it makes a huge difference because that's the first $5,000 that we're paying for the employees. And if it doesn't work right, it's a nightmare. They don't know what to do. I have to try to help them figure it out. I'm calling Stephanie. It's terrible.
I hide
Do I
under my
submit a
desk.
claim?
So.
Do I not?
And
It's,
Robin,
Caller
would
ID.
you
Big help at points.
agree that we probably had some claims that were paid that should not have been
there
paid?
was, but there
and is-
also was some claims that never got paid that should have
Yeah,
been paid. So
and-
it was both ways.
Yeah. But as a result of that, it could have cost us more, which would decrease the savings
Right.
that the plan might
With
offer.
Anthem, I'm not seeing that.
Right.
I can't drill down to see who went in for what,
Right.
and I don't care to.
Right.
But the dollar amount and the name is what I see, and I check it every month when we get the invoice,
Mm-hmm.
and if I see a name that doesn't look right, I'm looking, I'm like, okay, but they were still covered. They're not here now, but they were covered when that incident happened. So
It's Cigna's one card.
Yes.
Okay.
Until that's what they guaranteed us. You know how that goes. You made me gun shy. So usually, sometimes, maybe. That's I learned my lesson with you.
You're still here.
I know it's still gun shy.
Enjoy the ride.
That's right.
Enjoy the ride.
So with that, I really do think Anthem is obviously the more safe. And again, you would do Anthem from an administrative standpoint. I would prefer you to look at Cigna as a cost savings that will probably have some kind of administrative hiccup. So administratively, Anthem's going to be the best bet. You move over to Cigna, we're probably going to run into some kind of administrative issue. It will probably get fixed.
And you'll be able to get some good contacts.
That's right. Yeah. So you know, either way, you know, the big thing that I want you to remember about Cigna, it's not just, you're not just looking at a savings this year. You're also looking at a lower starting point for next year. So a 10% renewal from Anthem next year at your 3% is a lot more than a 10% renewal from a Cigna at that negative 3.5.
But then we don't know that, because I just signed my wife up for Medicare.
Okay.
And initially we went with Cigna on Part D. And
Okay.
now, less than a month in, it's going up, and now we're changing to somebody else. So it's hard to predict.
Medicare is a different animal, but yes.
But all this is going to, at some point, it's going to merge, I think. I hope there's always a private
Cigna
sector.
Next year say, well, now we got them, we're gonna raise it 12%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you,
that happens a lot of times after you go with
A lot of
anything,
things.
whether it's just insurance.
Yep.
And once they get you hooked, then.
Somebody
oh, well,
buys
it's
your
just-
business the first year, and then the next year they come back. And so I wouldn't make my personal decision on how I might vote on this on the fact that Cigna might be less in the future proposal. I know what it is today, but I don't know what it's going to be a year from now. And I know that there's still a lot of fluidity in health insurance, and you won't guarantee me anything.
That is correct. Well, that's not entirely accurate. I'll guarantee that it'll go up next year.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you know what? I agree with you.
But it is from a other carriers will look at where you're starting at, and that does always matter. And you are correct. I mean, there is no way of knowing. We don't believe Cigna is buying your business. The way that we actually kind of get a pulse on that is the quotes we get from. We had a year where United Healthcare was the best at almost every single. They were giving back fantastic, and if they learned that Anthem was 2% under, they would drop 3%, right? That's buying business. Cigna is not competitive for most employers in the area. One of the reasons that they actually are competitive for you is they have better network discounts in your area, specifically with Mercy, and that's who you are utilizing the most. Anthem's, when they renegotiated with Mercy kind of won that battle. That's an opinionated statement. I haven't had anybody tell me that that's accurate, but that is one I would bet you on. And that's the reason why I think Cigna is less. Is
Have
'cause-
you had Cigna submit a bid before?
So we only had one time that they submitted a bid and they were uncompetitive. They usually have DTQ'd in the past, yes. They since then they have they have had quite a. There's been a lot of changes that have happened. So they've added like Cox Health in the entire area, and then on top of that, Mercy has renegotiated with most of the other carriers, and now Cigna's contract is much stronger. Not necessarily every single area, but and I've not.
They're strengthening their networks, basically.
Yeah, it's more they did a better job of negotiating than Anthem or Mercy did. I'd say better. They have a better contract. So if you were to go into a doctor and maybe Anthem gets charged $168, Cigna's getting charged $152. And that's a isolated, but I mean,
Yeah, that's not what we usually see.
you're talking the big things are your MRIs, your hospital stays, and again, I don't get these contracts given to me. So a lot of this is more just conversations with people, but Cigna has really good, has a very good network discounts with Cox and Mercy, which is a large number of Lake Regional is about the same for everybody. But Mercy is a big deal for the county. So.
Okay. Any other questions?
Not at this time for me.
Okay. What's the thought of the commission? You want to take action on it today, or you want to wait till next Thursday to give Jason time to review? I guess Jason's helping too here, right? But give time to review the question Linda had on maybe increasing the.
Do you have a specific on that you want me to ask? You just want me to pick up?
What we were.
I would assume just a table,
You
just a
want-
little
you
bit
want
for me to
max.
wrap my head around some
What
of
is
this.
max,
Okay.
yeah, and what would
10,
be?
10, 6, but,
Yeah.
and they may
Some
say
internal-
it's not.
Maybe some internal
So whatever
questions
max
and
is.
stuff amongst ourselves.
Okay.
I've asked both carriers.
And then
And I
you
think
know,
it'll probably take.
thinking
2
of
to 3
Jason, I
weeks.
want to recognize Jason and Pillar Insurance being part of this, because when we reached out originally, we wanted a local agent to help guide us through this. And Jason and Pillar was instrumental in bringing us what we have today. So I want to give Jason that recognition. He's sitting there in the back, but he does have a part in this, and a part of that was the local effort on the commission's part and his willingness to find us a company that we could work with. So, Jason, thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
I guess, guys, what we're going to do, we're going to our next meeting will be November 13th. At this time, I will put it on the agenda for an action item on November 13th. If that would give you time maybe to answer Linda's questions. I don't have any questions. You know, there's an old saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I know we're all here to be good stewards of the county resources. But then sometimes we don't know what those consequences are. So at this time, I'm very satisfied with the service level that we received from Anthem. The one card with their HRA is working, I won't say flawlessly, but it's working really good. And I always try and keep in mind what those secondary costs are when you make changes. So there's secondary costs that we don't know, but there's some that we know our staff is going to have invest more time, and time is dollars or could be dedicated elsewhere for county government. So those are my thoughts, but we probably need to have that discussion if this is the consensus that we want to look at. But looks like we have two companies to choose from. So.
Last comment that I would make on that is, so as of right now, we're going to see what the maximum amount of pocket Anthem would allow, and then try to get a new offer of maintaining the rest of the benefits the same, but having the higher out-of-pocket maximum, and then also having another option of that higher out-of-pocket maximum and a lower copay, dropping that down from a $40 copay down to a $20. Those things could take up to 3 weeks. Realistically, I would say
your first option though would not take that long, probably.
to find out what the rate would be. We have to get it resent in and have an underwriter reassess it.
Find out what their number is.
That would
won't
be
take
quick,
very
but
long.
to make that number do anything,
Sure.
where we actually have numbers of this is the way it would affect a rate, which I don't think knowing the number helps. We need to know what the rate changes to by following that number. But I would say that realistically, weeks is probably the soonest we would have that. I'd probably try to ask you to give me 3 so that we should have that back by then. And on a side note, I do not believe it should take that long, but it will.
Okay. Any other questions?
Jason, can I have your phone number, please? Yeah.
Okay, good.
You guys have something else that comes up, let us know, but we'll get to work on that.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, Johnny.
Good meeting you. You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to meet you guys.
Yeah, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Good to see you. If I didn't get that sooner.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
just
resend
follow
it.
in.
Use the rest.
Perfect.
So the day we have it, you'll have.
Okay, thanks. He said it's about this. Not a big deal.
I didn't mention nothing about.
Oh, how they did it. It made a difference last time.
I was thinking of it, and I was.
Changes payment. Individually, it means that once you hit the 5,000, that it's still, whatever the plan is, 10% up to this maximum instead of this maximum.
Are we looking to save on the backside? Is that what I'm hearing? Because I don't think it's gonna lower the premium.
It did last time.
It did?
I don't know that it will this time. Instead of 2,900 out of pocket maximum annual, you would have what, I don't know what it is.
Well, I don't see how it can be legal because actually you're insured twice.
Yeah.
You're rolled over onto a government plan, but you still got a county.
What's Jason's last name? Do you know?
So I was like, oh, okay, I wondered
Oh,
about
yeah.
that. Okay, so do you want me to take some? Okay.
I mean, if it goes up to 84, it may not make any difference at all.
Well, you asked for 91, didn't you?
No.
Oh, I thought you.
She said they might go to that. If it's
Oh, because
10,000,
that
they
was the
might go to that.
ACA,
Yeah,
that she wasn't sure, but that's what the ACA cap was. or
they
something.
capped us at 79 before.
Yeah, I got you.
They said, you can't go any higher. Because we had considered going higher.
Holiday calendar. Just do whatever you wanna do. I don't
You
get
already
it.
did, just sign up.
Okay, I'm gonna check mark it then.
Did what?
I'm good.
You get to review.
Yes.
You have to review it.
You do have input in that.
Mm-hmm. You do, absolutely. This is,
Well, where is it?
well, your jail
It's
control
under-
system is next.
It's under confinement, apparently. I haven't seen it, I don't know.
I'm still off. I'm not sure what.
Holidays.
Oh,
Here's 2 of them to share. That's what she gave me. We did review them based on.
You have multiple copies of this.
That's my.
That's your only one.
That's what she gave me. Nothing's changed from last year. Other than the dates that they fall on to, nothing has changed from last year.
Okay, Eric, you wanna shut that door? Okay, the next item, we'll go ahead and resume. The next item on the agenda is the jail controls. I was hoping that we would have additional information to consider this morning. And that would be if the company Cornerstone, I believe, if they could verify that they were on the national bid list. And so we're still waiting for that information. Once we receive it, then I think we could make a decision. That decision could be that we look at the two options that have been presented, or that decision is that then we have to put it out for official bid if they don't come in on that national bid.
Right.
It's my understanding, I don't know if Mike touched on this or not, but Jack has been working with the company on some of the graphics and some of the modifications or labeling, I should say, probably not graphics, but the labeling of the system. And that seems like that's going relatively well. So maybe once we get the confirmation as to the national bid list, then we can move forward with that. If not, but in the meantime, things are functioning well. And then the locks that Mike referred to are the mechanical locks, which have nothing to do with either one of those proposals. It's
Separate.
Yeah, it is. And that would be done irregardless and be done in anticipation that we make one of these changes. And that would even be better because then we know that the locks have been working mechanically and we shouldn't have maybe as many hiccups. So next thing would be the employee calendar, and Linda or Robin's going to Linda's going to present that. So you say we have two options. What are the?
No, same.
No. So these are the same.
Yeah.
So these two sheets are identical.
They are. She would just mark on one and don't
Yeah.
mark on the other.
What we're looking at there, yeah.
They are the same holiday count, the same holiday names, the same holiday process, just on different days. The only thing with payroll will be in December. Christmas is on Friday, so we called Heritage and they will be closed on Friday, but they will be open on Thursday. So we moved payroll to Thursday on that day.
Does it impact our budget any? No.
Because it was all in the same year.
Okay.
It's just a little variance due to the holiday where it landed.
One, two, three, 4, 5,
15.
6, 7.
Do you want the
Days.
Federal?
I've never had off. Yes, I would like to see
There you
it,
go.
please.
Hand him that one. It's just 25 up above, 26 down below.
I do like
Compare.
that. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's not, there's no sense, but yeah, that and that's for sure, I mean, for the most part.
But now I'm wondering if there ought not be a trade. If we're gonna do that and then that.
Just
This
remember,
one-
the personnel policy book is written with some of them directly listed.
He's talking about like the eves of Thanksgiving and
They're directly written. in the
Christmas,
personnel
even for Thanksgiving.
I like those.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind that.
That's the only one there that I don't. I just,
Well, yeah, careful.
And yeah, I'm like you. I've never, even when I worked for other places.
No.
Gosh, they sound like you when you came here.
Yeah.
Well,
They had to pick me up out of the floor. You gotta be kidding me. There's 5 or maybe 6 some years in my business, and I got here, I'm like, we have how many?
There's 7 on here that I've never known. Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
even federal, we didn't get that many.
You should have.
I wouldn't
Those are
even
the
think
list.
about
No.
taking
Yeah.
You didn't get the
Those
eve
days.
before, unless
Oh,
the
the eve.
Secretary of Agriculture let it off.
And see.
Well,
Yeah,
and where
you got
this
the-
started is,
Yeah.
it wasn't, and then the governor every year
Yeah.
makes that
Exception.
Yeah.
exception, and usually does it at the very last minute.
Yeah, and it all depends on, in the federal, the 20 some odd years I was in
They're
it,
trying to
it
turn
would
that
depend
into
on
something different now anyway, so let's
which
just
party was in power.
scratch it.
Because you never got it from one party, but
Hey,
you
that's-
always
that's
got it
Linda's
from the
list, you
other.
know that?
It's like, oh.
He's pulling a Randy and scribbling on your stuff over here.
You can scribble on that one.
Scratch that, I mean,
Here, I better give that back to you.
You're doing all those, and you're gonna have to go boom, boom, boom.
oh, I'm fine with it.
We got personal
But you can't take my day, my birthday off. You gotta keep my birthday, it's a circle.
All right.
Here, have this one.
Joe's day.
Joe's Day.
Put your whatever degree on there.
Do what?
Isn't that your personal day?
I don't want
It
to
is- it
start.
actually is.
I don't want to
It-
start anything,
Yeah.
but
You get my birthday
I
off
might
too.
not.
Okay, do I get it off too?
get some
Everybody in this room.
documents, so
Well,
we're
Jack may
way
not.
out on this before I-
Jack may not be on the paper deal, kinda like me if on my own business.
I'm not either.
So I
January 1st.
always said that discussion is good. I try to use more discretion some days than others. Some days I ask for more wisdom than I am
possess.
willing to be obedient to. And I always respect how someone makes their own determination. But if you're asking me, I would entertain a motion to approve the schedule as presented.
Mhm.
And then we can have discussion if I get a motion and a second, and then we can have discussion. And we'd like to get this out as early as possible within reasonable timeframes so that those who might start to be making plans for next year can do that.
Discussion could very well lead to next year's decision.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would make a motion to approve the holiday schedule for 2026 as it is submitted here.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the holiday and pay calendar for 2026 as presented. Now ask if there's any additional discussion.
There's a few dates on there that I have never recognized myself in private or having other jobs. I think we're being, and I like it, the 2 days at Thanksgiving, the 2 days at Christmas, but maybe there could be some trade-off there.
So you're
That's
suggesting
my thoughts.
the trade-off, what do you meaning by
I'm
as far
thinking
as
about
trade-off?
axing off a couple of those days, but you know, I don't want to, I guess, discount any of those people that it is in observance of. But I'm working.
Mhm.
I'm working 7, 8, 9 of those days every year for 30 years, 35 years.
Some of those haven't been on there that long.
That is correct.
I'm just saying.
So that's just where my mind goes.
I think one thing to keep in mind, and it does go back to our policy manual, and also the county has followed the state's direction on this, not necessarily as a requirement on our part, but I think when you look at some of this where different institutions may be closed and the ability of an individual to conduct business might look different than our perspective. So I would just put that out there that some of these days are recognized by financial institutions maybe License Bureau and other places. So that in and of itself creates sometimes some inconvenience for people. But for the most part, with us being consistent with the state, then I think if they hear some type of public service announcement that the state offices are closed this day, there's some assumption that county government and maybe municipal government would be closed as well. So I would just ask you to keep that in mind.
So all of these dates on here, except for potentially Christmas Eve and Thanksgiving Eve, are state recognized
Yes.
holidays?
Yes.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Now-
sometimes even those are state recognized holidays at last minute.
Yeah.
What are?
The Christmas Eve and
Oh.
Thanksgiving Eve. So, because I know, I remember several years for sure that even on Thanksgiving, places closed at noon or 2, and some of them not even be open for some state agencies. Your financial institutions normally open on the eves of that one, but then of course for Christmas, a lot of them close at noon.
Well, I'm not gonna make a mountain out of anything, so.
Okay, I had a motion and a second. We had discussion. Seeing no further discussion, I'll ask for a vote to approve the 2026 holiday and pay calendar. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Calendar approved.
Can I get you this one?
Yeah.
Next order of business would be CDT applications.
I just wanted his first.
We had received one, and I'd like to just touch on that briefly and then bring it back up on the 13th. And the CDT application we received was from the Chamber of Commerce. And what we've done last year, and I'd maybe like to consider a little different approach this year, was that we had used CDT funds to make a $10,000 investment in the chamber out of economic development. But what we also did in that conversation during that meeting was that $5,000 of that would be a membership and $5,000 would be CDT. And then also I think, in my memory, probably a little vague on this, but there was $250 that went towards supporting Friends of the Fort. I don't know whether, I mean, certainly we're okay with that. Was that our intention? Well, it could have been, but I'd like to kind of clean that up a little bit this year. So for the sake of the CDT application, what I would like to do is for the commission to consider a $5,000 membership at that previous level, and I forget what they call that level. And then along with that, I think they're calling it a Chamber Champion membership. It's on the back page of their request. And then I would also then like to consider, as opposed to the $250 contribution to Friends of the Fort coming out of that, I would like to separate that and we make a $250 check to Friends of the Fort. It's specifically coming from Laclede County, and that will give the chamber the benefit of the full $5,000 and then $250 for Friends of the Fort. And then look at some of the options that they gave us as far as sponsorships. And I just noticed this morning that they had sponsorships for the Christmas parade. So I think I'd like to propose the $5,000 and the $250 to renew our chamber membership at the $5,000 level, and to make a separate $250 contribution to Friends of the Fort, and then give us another week to review this CDT application and see what options are available. Open for discussion. And there's the, for you to look at those.
Yeah, I believe I'm still all right with doing the $5,000 as far as the membership fee and stuff goes. And I think I myself personally like the idea of giving the $250 directly from the county to the Friends of the Fort instead of basically filtering it through the chamber. there, I think that's actually better. And then if we are able to do anything later on from there, if we decide to, then that way they could have the full benefits of however the rest of that money's allocated. So I'm good with doing it that way. We can go ahead. Are we wanting to go ahead and approve the 5,000 a day then for
So-
membership and get our membership in there?
So let me ask, for the proper, path forward on that. So, do we approve all memberships annually? I know last week we did
They're just a bill. I mean, they're treated as just a bill.
right, so really,
So really,
if I contact the chamber and say, hey, get us an invoice for chamber membership, and I need an invoice from Friends of the Fort, that's just treated as a normal bill. But then if and when we do CDT, then that becomes the formal approval process. Are you okay with that?
So did I hear that we're going to give our check to the chamber for the Friends of the Fort though?
No, I will solicit an invoice from, I'll call, I believe LAF.
Okay, yeah. I think that's
If I'm
right.
not mistaken, so I can contact Melinda Freeze. And Melinda, would you get us an invoice, much like I did with the Rock the Block? I contacted Melinda and I
You
said,
bet.
we need an
Yeah, because I was
invoice.
going to say they have their meeting next week, and I was going to try to attend that
You bet.
meeting. So
Yeah.
but yeah, going through Melinda LAF would probably be the proper.
Yes, I believe they hold those funds in trust for
Okay.
the Friends of the Fort.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, and then this can come back up then for further consideration, but I'd like to go ahead and do that.
Yep.
We're good. Okay. All right, next order of business would be Road and Bridge. Jerrod, come on up. Thank you for working around our schedule today. I kind of put you to last because I know that
He's the best.
that we have that we usually have lots of questions for you. There's
Yes.
lots
Well,
of things to fix out.
It allows him to get things done in the morning and
That's
find
what
out.
I thought, Joe. We were being considerate.
There you go. That's right.
Not a problem.
You want to scoot up here? Or you okay there?
That clock is wrong.
Is it? Maybe
I just now,
It didn't call
it's crooked.
that. It shouldn't call that.
Kind of catching up the speed where Road and Bridge has been here the last month or so. Been focusing on crack sealing. We're starting our third week of that. We have just finished today, east side. We there is actually 11.85 miles of asphalt on the east side, and I crack sealed 9.94 to shy of 10 miles.
9.4.
The ones that I did not crack seal is Emily. I blade patched that. Crack sealing is not going to help that road no more. And
You did do some blade patching on it?
yeah, we blade patched it down there. And Utica Drive up at Richland. That's the only two roads in Erik's district that did not get no crack sealing done on it. We have now went to Nightingale. That's where the guys are right now on the west side. And way it's looking, I've got the machine rented for, of course, at the end of next week. The kind of on the deciding factor now is I'm going to see where I'm going to end up next week, if I'm going to extend that. I've got some projects going on. I'm probably going to not, but I will know next week kind of how much I get done over on this west side. My focus, Nightingale, Jewel, Peoria, Houston, is where we're still going to crack seal on this west side. Right now, as of to date, $18,318 been spent on crack sealing.
How much?
18,000.
Okay. So have you looked at Normandy and its lower priority?
No.
Okay.
Normandy has kind of got me on a fence a little bit because if we are planning on moving forward on further projects there, I am not really jumping out to crack seal that road at this time. It is good for another 2 years without me doing anything to it right now.
Okay.
So that's where I've been on that.
Okay.
And timing wise is what's kind of drawing me down.
And I understand that and
Yeah.
appreciate it. Just keep in mind that that's our highest traffic county road.
Yep. I sure wish. I better be quiet. we need to motivate special one districts to claim that side of it too.
I don't know about that as a voter.
Well, with being said, 18,000, I'm roughly going to have, at best, I don't even think I will touch 15 miles. I'm $1,000 a mile. Just on crack sealing, that's what it figures out to. I include my asphalt. I got 32,000 on blade patching. We're going to be right there. 50 some thousand that we spent on asphalt this year, which is, we still got money in the budget. I know Ian's done well on making sure we had enough money there, but that's kind of where our asphalt road maintenance is going to fall at this year and everything, which I'm pretty confident. East side was, I guess they started the last couple of years always on west side, which they've had some overlays in the last few years recently on this east side, and they was kind of where they was needing crack sealing that to get everything to hold it, maintain it. So that's where I focused at. Because we have total of 32 miles across the county of the common roads for Laclede County. 32.05 is what we have. Any questions on, I know you asked on Normandy, but any other questions on this crack sealing or? Okay.
No, I do appreciate what seems to be a concerted effort on your part to get quite a bit of stuff coordinated.
I did, just to touch, I know there's been a little bit previous meetings with Jessica Lane out in Stoutland. I did meet with Scott, the contractor that was hired from the landowner to take care of that project. I met with him a couple times over the last month. They have the pipes installed, base rock laid. I even actually went out there yesterday to see what it looked like after our wet week last week. Everything looked good, and I was glad to see, even because there was a semi truck down there, a moving company, and everything held up good. It's looking good. So I am pleased with that, how that has turned out. Like I said, that's still a time period that we're going to move forward later on, but just giving you this update where it's at. And I did meet with Jack Jones on the Mountain Creek and the Hillsdale, and I went through there and noted what improvements need to be made for our county has expected of a road to be. And I met with him, had a meeting with him, and the meeting went well. I suspect to hear back from him soon, or Willard. He said he was going to reach out to Willard and to, because I gave him the whole copy of what's expected, the grade and the ditches and stuff. So,
are there, I don't think you were here last week, can I ask this question? Culverts on those two roads, are there culverts needed on those two roads?
There is some, and I talked to him about them, what needs to be replaced. They have some drainage issues. What has killed that over there over the years is setting and not properly maintaining it.
On both roads, or are you talking about a specific road on that one?
Both roads, but Hillsdale is in a lot worse shape.
Correct.
A lot of it is distance. A lot of it is traffic with Hillsdale. There's 20 plus houses on Hillsdale. Carries a lot of traffic. And so, like I said, Jack, the meeting I had with him, at first when I really didn't know for sure where I was going to go, but then there at the end, he said, I really want to do whatever it needs to take. He said, I just soon this be out of my name. And so we'll see where that goes with, it sounds like, and I'm hoping he does move forward in the direction, to get it properly where it needs to be. And so I will keep you up to date when he reaches out to me or any progression out in that area. And that's about it. We do have our brush cutters is constantly still an issue. our brand new one that was bought last October. It's a John Deere. The wheels, which I found out that these are going to be a common issue probably. These E models have different wheels. They are not heavy duty wheels. We are leaking, and John Deere stood behind it, going to warranty these wheels. They've had that tractor now for 3 weeks. I just found out just a while ago that they got a brand new wheel in, put it on. They got it all changed, tire shop, whoever done it, and now it's still leaking a brand new one. So you got to order another one from the factory warehouse. So,
Was we replacing both wheels or just the ones that got that side weight, that
No,
offside? Offset.
both back wheels was leaking.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
what I was wondering.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
wanted to make sure, because if
Yeah.
they're not handling,
Yeah.
not capable.
I talked to Matt earlier about that when he gave me an update on it. We might eventually have to check into changing that rim out to a heavy duty rim, especially on that weight side. But I'm just really concerned that both wheels are even having
And that's
issues.
that's
And they
why
got a
that-
brand new one in from the factory that replaces that one for that model. And it was done leaking before it even left their facility. So the reason I found that out today is because I had a brush cutter go down. And the rear end, the axle bearing, we got it in the shop. Matt pulled it apart. I asked Matt, I said, "Is this something you can do?" And he said, "Yep, I think so." So he tore into it. He got it separated yesterday. He took the parts to John Deere to see. We're looking at $3,500 to replace the axle and the bearings, planetary gear, and
What unit set? What number set unit?
that will be 5. That'd be right. Be the one guy always drove. It's not the old one that we got parked out back, but
So
it's
it's the old one.
one of the
Not
old.
the old one.
Yeah, it's not none of the new stuff, but last of the old ones that were running. So initial, when Matt texted me this morning, it was $6,500. I said, "Whew." And so he called me back again, said, "We did look over a few things. This is what we can." And now it's about $3,500. I said, "I like that number a lot better." I said, "That's workable." I said, "But I will meet with Jens and see." But it is separated. I mean, you basically have to buy this part to put it back together. So.
By what part? A tool?
No, there's not tools, but the
Okay.
planetary gear, the axle shaft, the bearings. The housing itself is good. I was a little nervous on that because of the damage that was done. But John Deere looked at it, he said, "No, I'm pretty confident once we get that race, or that bearing out of there." He said, "From what I'm seeing, I think we can still work with this housing, But this housing separates, it's about that long. Comes off the differential there back there where it separates that. So 35.
How many hours do we have on
A lot.
this one?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay.
My discussion I had with Matt, I said, here's where I'm at looking at this machine. We're in this machine because we don't have another one ordered. I've got to have 3 brush cutters to cover the county.
Just barely make it at that.
The thing that I do like about this machine, it's an M. It's actually, it's one of these deals. If we rebuild it, I still got a better tractor than a brand new E model.
Okay, but what I'm hearing is the brand new E model's in the shop right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Okay. All right. How many hours does that one have on it?
The brand new one?
Mm-hmm.
I do not know.
Okay. All right. I think we need to push back against John Deere and just see what the upgrade would be. If this is going to be an ongoing issue, we can't afford to have that thing down. And, that thing has only been in service less than 2 months.
Not that one, no.
Not that one.
No, the one that's in the shop right now is the
Not
tire
that one.
issue is the one that was received in October.
Wheel issues.
The wheel issues. The
That's,
wheel
that's
issues.
the
That's
new
what he's-
one,
That's what he's,
isn't it?
that's our newest one we have.
Is the one guy?
No, it's Lynn's tractor, would have been a year ago.
Last
That's
Yeah.
where I was getting.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Two
yeah.
Octobers ago.
I'm
Two
sorry.
October, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, not this,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
24.
Okay.
24.
Okay. So then the newest one is an E model as well,
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not experienced this problem yet.
yeah.
Well, not the wheel problem, yet. It has got issues. Yeah, I've
And
had
what
it,
issues are we having with it?
I had a boom issue. Actually, it is in Springfield as we speak.
And the boom or the whole thing?
No, actually the cylinder, we can't get no movement to the cylinder out on the boom. We field tested. It's leading back to either it's in the electronics, running to the back there on the back where all the control is for the hydraulics. They didn't even know, and I haven't heard no word. So,
But
yeah,
they have the whole machine.
they have the
Oh.
whole machine. 2 E model tractors less than they're both in the shop right now.
Caterpillar's looking a lot better to me.
They don't have a brush cutter.
Now,
That was leading up to something.
So-
I know.
yes.
I know
There's
what
a
you
machine.
mean to it. Yeah.
A machine.
Now, is this being cataloged by Murphy or John Deere? The days that it is spent
Downtime.
at the downtime, will that be added to our warranty?
I doubt it.
I doubt it too.
I do not, but what my guess is right now, that is not educational by them asking them, but I'm saying right now, I doubt it.
Yeah.
And everything. They are looking, because I actually had to run into a deal with them over here at Lebanon, the ones with the wheel issue. I took and stopped over because I hadn't heard nothing for a while. And I do, like I said, most times it's better off just stop in because it's the easiest way I found out to get in contact. I said, what's the status on this tractor? You've had it for a while. I said, can you give me an update? And he said, yeah. He said, waiting on a wheel. I said, waiting on a wheel? And he said, yep. He said, they said that John Deere sent them, but he said they only sent the one. I said, so we ain't moving forward? Well, I got a question about it. He said, what's your all's thoughts on these weights? He said, well, do you want to come and take these weights off, or you take the tractor back, take the weights off, bring the tractor back? I said, no, when this tractor was delivered, it had weights on it. He said, well, John Deere would not pay for removal of the weights. I said, well, from having a guy come over and pick it up, bring it back and forth, I said, it's here. Just get it done as soon as you can, So I moved forward on that, just let them deal with it. But so to get them to do anything extra, no. If they're balking on me on the wheel weights,
So you're saying no as far as you're talking about
He's
the
done.
warranties type stuff, what you're saying?
Yeah.
But that, you're coming from two different entities there. You're getting your warranty stuff work done over here at this one place, but everything else is actually going through another place that come from, correct? That
No,
tractor came
Depends
through,
on the machine. I think he's got.
through Murphy.
Murphy's got the brush cutting
yeah,
tractor.
yeah. Murphy's got one.
Yeah.
The brand new one that we just got last month. And then this one is the one we got a year ago.
We have to haul it up there to them, they come and get it.
No, we had to haul two. They would have warranted, but there's still a service call. Just like Cat, we got to pay for mileage. And that could have been $500 if I wait on them to get their guy, which would have been 10 days. Possibly. And I said, well, right now I'm in a good position that I have the extra time because my guy that runs this tractor is on another project. So my idea was to get this up here so when I'm done, he can go back to doing what he needs to do. So I'll hold it up there.
We got one
Say
brush,
$500.
one brush cutter at the moment.
The oldest one.
We have, we have two right now. If we'd want to use it, but
Right.
it's got issues. Apparently it don't have no power either. It's got some issues. So brush cutters, but at least I've got crack sealing going on.
Yes,
We're
and
moving
at
forward.
least growing season is over with.
So that's where we're on brush cutters. So.
Any ETA, any word back, so nothing word back from Murphy on when
No,
them
no.
and nothing's
I'm reach out to them today.
coming
and
from
see.
here locally as well.
Just the local deal is that the other wheel they got in was leaking, so now they're waiting on another one to come in. But I really see us eventually having to swap the wheels out.
Mm-hmm.
Because actually I saw Bob Ishman a little while ago, and he's still trying to get all his stuff together because he's a local tire guy. And I said, "Is this an issue with John Deere?" He said, "Oh yeah, I've had to deal with lots of them."
So what's he doing with his dealings with that? Is he doing something different there to help out the wheels and stuff, or is they happen to order any?
You can weld them. Most of the time, you are going with a tube. He's putting tubes in. And he said, but yeah, it's pretty common. A lot of it hurts us. I just don't see this wheel holding up the style, because what it is, they've took these E's and turned them into a spoke type wheel. It's not a solid all the way around. It's a spoke type. So you got this extra weight out here too. It's going to flex that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where our failure is always going to be with them. But what is bad is showing me they've got some straight coming out of the warehouse that's already leaking. So, but like I said, the only good thing that I can see, even if it's $3,500 into this old tractor right now,
You have a heavy duty tractor.
It's a
Still
got a bit.
Heavier duty.
Yeah,
It's
it's
one
a
of these
better
deals.
build.
It's one of these deals you could almost continue to rebuild.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know. That's the way I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the bad thing and what we're stuck in with these E's, because I done asked John Deere, and then I said, "So what's trading?" He said, "Don't even you when you buy these, you don't trade. There's no value left in them."
Especially when we're modifying them like we are.
Yeah. So he said, because nobody wants them. He said, if they're going to buy it, they're going to buy it new. You know, if they're sticking to that. Maybe there is some people out there would, but that's just what the dealer told me. So.
Get them all fixed while I was gone.
Closer.
Okay.
All right. That's about all I got. He's got any questions? I know Joe did just give me this on the skid steer here from John Deere here local. The only thing I was looking at this, Joe, I would have a question. I'm sure, did he tell you? Is it showing the 2-year, 2,000 hour warranty?
Supposed to have.
I mean,
That's not there. I mean, I would
yeah.
assume that it is.
Is it an E series?
Yeah, it's pretty much standard.
Is it an E series?
No.
No. It's got a G behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Jeans.
For economy and
Good.
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 Yeah, that's pretty much there.
I just didn't see it in here
And
when I was
may
looking
not
at
have
that.
been on that. I know it was on the one
So
prior.
do you have the Caterpillar proposal there with you? Because you know
Yep.
what I'm hearing this morning is not very encouraging. Seems like we're having a lot of difficulty with a certain brand of equipment that we've been buying, and that troubles me some because you know we want to make sure that you know we are investing county money, and sometimes the least expensive bid is not always the best bid. I profess up front I'm not knowledgeable on either one of these units, but if I have trouble with the unit, whatever that might be, it does speak to me in a way that causes me to hit the pause button before I make a decision to jump in and buy the same brand when I'm experiencing the issues that we're having. Okay, and so for that reason, I don't know what these numbers look like. I don't know what you have there, and I don't know what's on the CAT proposal in front of me. But I just don't want to automatically assume I'm going to just go right back to John Deere without considering an alternate proposal. So can you weigh in for me on the difference between the John Deere and the
John Deere,
Caterpillar?
from what we're going through right now, is from a previous decision to buy an E-model tractor.
That decision's already
Been made.
been
yeah.
made.
But it falls into what you got for what you
Right.
paid for.
That goes to the heart of my question now.
And so when I
Same
look,
as buying a Chevy Cruze or buying a Cadillac. Which one's gonna give you?
the John Deere on the heavy side, I mean, I was around in Camden, graders, John Deere, and cat graders, both of them up there. I had some grader guys that run John Deere that did not want a cat at all. They thought the John Deere outperformed the cats, but then it gets to a preference. But I did see longevity out of heavy equipment on John Deere stuff, on the heavy duty stuff. John Deere's, the graders, the skid steers. They don't have no initial really danger that I see of staying away from them. There is price difference. I am not opposed of this machine of being dependable, okay, for the price difference that it is. I do like the service that I get from Cat. If I have something go down, Cat will stand behind me.
I'm just not really one to reward someone for lack of being able to service something. That's just not my nature, whether it's me personally or whether it's me sitting on this side of the counter. And what is the difference in cost on these two units?
That unit there is 88,000 and
76,123.
76,123 local.
And are we comparing apples to apples?
Yes.
As far as
Yes.
the equipment? Okay.
Yeah.
99.
And so going back to the transportation cost, so the John Deere would be local, or would it be from the other bid? It's the local that you just quoted me.
Yeah, that's the local bid.
That
Okay.
is from Heritage.
Heritage.
Tractor.
And that's less than from Murphy. Is that right?
That's true. Yeah. No, Murphy's is 75 even, isn't it?
75.
And how much is Heritage?
76,123. It's $1,123 difference if you buy local or.
1,123.
Mm-hmm.
And I can just, I'm scratching Murphy out. So now I'm down to 2.
Is there travel time, is there service longevity all equal?
No. Cat comes with another year and 1,000 hours.
So what was the cat warranty?
Pretty sure 3,000.
2,000 hour.
Yeah, and 36.
3 years.
No. Let's see. Here it is. 3,000 hour premium. So it'd be 3,000 hours starting from day delivery.
Because
I think that just goes
how
since-
much? So
2,000.
So we're getting 1,000 additional hours for $12,000 more.
Yes.
And they'll both pick up, or they both charge if they pick up?
Sounds
What
like
do you
they're
say
all
they're all
gonna
gonna
charge.
charge?
They're all going to charge on if they come and they all got travel. Warranty does not cover their travels.
How?
Or taking weights off.
Apparently. What about their in-shop time expectancy? What has been the history of in-shop time? It takes them 3 weeks to get to it, or it takes them a week to get to it, or it takes them part of it.
Joe can speak to some of that.
Yeah, I know he visited with, I think you visited with him over here, didn't you? I mean, service, hands down, I still stay behind Cat. I can get if the machine goes down, because I've actually kind of had that car just a little bit. Actually, Ryan Tate's calling me now, but they've got a deal of machines down. It goes to the top of the list. Okay, and so if it's worded that way to him, because I crossed that with Matt. Matt called in and said, well, they said it's going to be 2 weeks before I could get here on a grader on something. I said, did you tell them that machine is down? That project is not doing nothing until they get this machine up. And so when I called him back, I said, hey, Mac, I've got an issue. This machine is down. I need you. He said, I'll get to it in I don't know if it was the next day or something. I mean, they got us, so the way it's worded a lot of times, I think, but, I mean, I have had my visits with them over here sometimes, and I know that, but I think this one thing, put a little leverage on them. If we do go this route local, hey, what are you going to do for us on service?
Well, and I'm not so sure. So I'm gonna split local into two different definitions. Local is, I think it's always been the mindset of this commission and previous commissions that we will always weigh local options first, okay? However, if you have another definition of local, this is really not a locally owned business in the sense that how it might typically be perceived as what our value to them looks like. Okay, now that's probably no different than what it would be with CAT, but I just want to make that distinction because in my mind, we are just somebody walking in the door. I don't think their perception of local, their definition is the same as mine. Now theirs may be local and maybe it's a better definition, but in my mind, there is a separation there. If I'm local and I'm walking in your door and we have more than one or two products with your brand on it, and we are providing services to county residents, we can't afford for that unit to be broken down. We are expecting some level of priority on our repairs, right? So for that reason, local to me means I'm going to take care of Laclede County. Local to them may mean I'm going to take care of corporate, and that's not Laclede County. Now, that may be unfair to them, but in my mind, that's how I rationalize what I think of as local. And we have to have equipment that we can depend on. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox.
Well, I don't really have no other input in it unless you have any questions. I know there was some, I guess there was options that even if we want to move forward on this, that I know there wouldn't be no buyout until in January sometime. Purchase outright, but they was willing to rent, and that price comes off of final payout.
And that was either one or just one of them?
I know. Now, I did not talk to this over local.
That was
they
from
had
Murphy, was it not?
Yes. Well, Murphy and Cat could kind of work at the same. Cat was pretty flexible,
Cat
more or
was
less.
gonna work.
You get with, we could deliver a machine and do a check exchange, but I did not know what the local was on that, if that option was there. That was just Murphy, I know, but I figured they might too, but they might not have no rental agreement since they're just more or less in agriculture.
Well, and then I guess that comes back to when we first looked at this a couple of months ago. It was like we could maybe get into service and get some help with some projects. But at this point in the year with crack sealing, is this a piece of equipment you would use out on Kentucky? Would this come in handy out there? So it would be good if we could go ahead and take it. Now, as far as delivery time, did I ask you that? Is there a difference on delivery time?
I think pretty well on these two. It's pretty well narrowed down to these two that we're talking about. I think there's really no issue. I mean, the availability, they got the machine. I think this one, they even got one sitting over there, don't they?
The one that was here locally sold, but they've got one in Jeff City.
Oh, do they?
Mhm. As of last week, anyway.
What's our pleasure, gentlemen?
For the $12,000+ there, I'd still like to go with the Heritage tractor on the John Deere machine. I wouldn't mind Jerrod or I or both or together to do have a little bit of a visit with them still. And like I said, kind of get that priority tier thing going, like we've spoke about before.
And I wouldn't have a reason to not want to do that, but what I would ask them is, give me your price on a 3,000 hour warranty, because that way I can compare maybe apples to apples. Because right now I'm not comparing apples to apples necessarily, because I have one unit that's going to give me an extra 1,000 hours than the other one. So I would ask them to quote me a price with 3,000 hours, so that I can say, okay, it really wasn't a difference of $12,000.
If they even offer that, I don't know if they offer it. I think CAT, one of the things that we're locked in with CAT is more or less there's been longevity in establishment of business, and they kind of keep us in some pricing here that caters to that. And that's what my understanding was on this warranty deal.
Or have them bid too.
Well, they did. I mean,
No,
Have them bid 2,000 hours.
oh,
see if it makes a difference on the price of the machine.
Yeah.
Then we would have true
Could do
apples.
both. Do one, see if they'd go up to 3, and the other one come down to 2. Have them both do it.
We've got options.
yeah.
I like that idea.
All right.
Okay.
So we'll just table for now until we get further information.
And you're going to need it
I think
the week after Thanksgiving, maybe?
we need to make a decision.
I mean,
Quickly. Yeah.
I mean, we, well, I shouldn't say we, I wasn't here, but they'd done projects before without it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Or
It would come in handy.
not had one
Yeah.
for a long time.
because like I said, I got a list sent to me from Christian on that Kentucky project, a list of materials, and he's got a deal on there on a telehandler, which apparently they've never had one before, but he wants me to have one, which that's a rental. That's $1,200 a week to rent that machine.
From
66 here in town.
what about-
Used to be Sing.
Okay.
What's a telehandler?
Forklift.
Extend the boom forklift.
Extend the
Yeah.
boom
Oh.
forklift.
All terrain, most of them
Yeah.
all terrain, and they boom.
So,
I learned something.
see, I wasn't expecting that, but that's another deal there. Which I mean,
Always the unknowns, always coming back to bite us. Little bits at a time.
All right, do we have anything else for Jerrod?
That was yours.
And this is something the backhoes can't accommodate, or do we know the answer to that?
I do not know the answer. He just emailed me a list, and I went over the list. So I just have stuff, and I got them at the shop, so you can keep them.
Oh, Jeff's.
Yeah. I got everything except for the one here that you just gave me.
Okay, that one there's Jeff's deal.
So, graders did get traded out. We did, it's another thing, Cat is standing behind also. They got shipped. They didn't catch it on initial check-in down there, but they got shipped without the front weight that hangs on the front. And Ryan told me, he said, that's a costly mistake on my part because it was figured in there. He said, but we didn't charge for it. He said, so we're going to eat it now. But that might have been what he was calling me on, because I hadn't, just want to see where he was at on them, But, so they do,
So they came with a weight?
no, they did not, but they was ordered. They was spec'd that way And so when basically when they checked him in down there, they didn't catch it, and he went back to the paperwork and it was ordered. But it's, I mean, they never had it figured in on cost, so they said they'd stand behind it.
But you know, that would be part of a lease agreement, so, you know, there again, I'm kind of like, that's, those prices were very similar to the previous ones, I think, those lease numbers. So to me, it's kind of like, well, you didn't catch it, but it's part of the lease.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, but there's
that
different,
kinda makes
but
sense.
that comes in with options on your machine, which would increase your
Sure,
your rental, your lease on it. And so, like he said, well, it was not caught by us, and it should have been. It should have been added in there, I'll let you know. But he said they're gonna get them. I mean, we've got some that, I think we got one or two don't even have them on to begin with, you know.
So we're still expected to get those when?
I do not know. It might have been what he's calling out now. I don't know. I just know.
Maybe calling you, seeing what kind of oil you want for fish.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Thursday, fish.
Peanut
Yeah,
oil.
yeah. Right. We want good fish. We don't want no this sway stuff. It's good fish. But, all right. Any other?
I don't think I have anything else for Jerrod.
No.
I do have a lady that called in on a tree. I'll give that to Erik.
Berry Road.
No, this
No.
one was on Dawn Road, I believe. Erik, I'll give you, she called in late yesterday, and I'll give you that note. And Jerrod probably needs to go look at it.
Yeah.
Has he not been made aware of it yet?
Not yet, because I knew he was coming in today. This came in late yesterday, and
Okay.
so.
Okay. Well, I got some other stuff. I'll catch up with you.
Okay.
I got, out on Easton,
Okay.
a lady there called in and complimenting on how good things look and stuff like that. Just wanting to know if we was gonna finish, go all the way to the end of the road or what. I don't know what she meant by that. I haven't called her back.
Okay.
She broke up, but anyway, so
Yeah.
soon as I see the project we had going.
Yeah.
Check your cart miles before you go to the end of the road.
Well, it does. Once it dead ends, there's
Yeah.
driveways right there, and I know. But yeah, I'll go out there and check that.
Yeah, but no, she was happy, complimenting and thanking us, so.
All righty.
Thanks, Jerrod.
Thanks, sir.
Next order of business would be general county business.
No.
Nothing and nothing yet. Well, I'll give you another chance when we get down to other business. So during the meeting, we received a text from maintenance that Cornerstone is not on the national bid list. So we'll get that put out for bid.
I did ask him to check if they were on the Missouri by chance before,
Okay.
and he said he would.
Okay. I'd say if they're not on the national, they won't be on Missouri, but, and then, on the meeting, Monday, just a reminder, we don't have a meeting Monday, but we do have our veterans ceremony Monday at 3:30, where the honor will be given to our veterans, and there are pins that will be given. So that's that date. Then our next meeting is November 13th, and for that meeting, I would like to think we could have some discussion, maybe even yet today in the few minutes remaining, regarding health insurance. Although I know we don't have everything we need, but just kind of keep that subject moving. We do have, for that meeting as well, we'll have the retention policy on records that was distributed. We'll have that, right?
Hopefully back.
Well, this one,
Oh, sunshine.
the sunshine that I think Linda distributed. We'll also have the consideration of the reimbursement for mileage and per diem. So we'll have that on that agenda as well. And I think that's been distributed. Not sure of anything else at this point. Just make you aware of that. And then at that, then we'll go into public comments, items listed on the agenda.
Did the chamber membership in the Friends of the Fort check, did that get approved today or did that get moved with the CDT?
No, the membership and the Friends of the Fort are approved today. Now, approved in a formal vote, those are renewals like we renew many other things. The CDT application will stand on its own, which would require a vote from the commission. Okay? And I will ask for an invoice for both of those. Routine business. And did you have a chance to see the accounts payable, the warrants?
Took me a little bit, but yes.
Any questions on them, Erik, or no? Okay. I attended the MU Extension Council meeting the last Tuesday of October, and they were very appreciative of the contribution we made to the 4-H program. I'll pass that on. And on the senior tax credit, we have rolled that out. There are fact sheets that are in the collector's window on her counter, and those same fact sheets are on the assessor's counter. And then out here in the main hallway, we're setting it up for an information center for that. Teresa's working on some signage so we can get that put up there. And I have the fact sheets out there. I have the self-report change forms out there. I have the information relating to the audit process. And I also put out there the applications for 26. While somebody's here, if they want to pick one up, it's there. And they can go ahead and be filling that out and returning us at the appropriate time. And so far, things are working good. We've had lots of questions and calls. If I was approved last year and I haven't made any changes, do I have to do anything? And Linda's office, her counter's taking calls, the assessor's office, the collectors. I mean, everybody is speaking the same language, and the individuals are really appreciative of haven't made any changes, and I'm thankful that I don't have to submit any additional paperwork. You had a question?
Did on that application, did it say when it was going to open?
The application says February 1, but to that point, if somebody brings one and drops it off, I think we'll put it in a pending stack.
Yep.
And we can, that way on day one, we can go ahead, or even before that, we can start verifying the information we need, and we'll just try to stay ahead of this. And right now it looks like it's going to run smoothly. I'm sure that will entertain some challenges, but right now it seems like it's working very, very, very smooth.
And all 4 of those papers are out on the county website at lacledecountymissouri.org.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so we are now public comments, items not listed on the agenda. Okay. Any other business? If any questions internally amongst us after we heard the presentation from our health insurance carrier, is there anything we want to briefly discuss before we hear back from them? And will we be ready to make a decision on the 13th, or depending on if it takes 3 weeks, is December time frame still okay to get everything done?
I know
And
it doesn't take that
I'm
long.
gonna say yes to the second statement or question that you made.
You're ready
I'll be ready,
by next.
13th.
The next meeting.
okay, any thoughts on the Cigna versus the Anthem at this point, just so we can start to do our own?
Well, I've got some thoughts, but I am gonna reach out to a couple of people that are smarter than I am and get their feedback on it.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else that was, am I missing anything?
I believe so.
Okay. All right. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Hey, he got it right this time.